You used to buy things now. You rent them. Your music, your movies, your software, your storage, your games, even features inside products you already paid for. And somehow, one tiny monthly payment turned into 10, then 15, then a bank statement full of charges you barely remember signing up for. But companies didn't suddenly fall in love with subscriptions because they make life easier. They fell in love with them because subscriptions solve one of the biggest problems in business. You can stop buying, and companies hate that. Imagine you sell a piece of software for $100. I buy it. Great. You made $100, but tomorrow you need another customer. Next month, another customer. Next year, thousands more. Every dollar starts at zero. Now change one thing. Instead of selling me the software for $100, charge me $10 every month. Suddenly, I don't just buy once. I keep paying month after month after month, and unless I actively decide to leave, the money keeps coming. That changes everything, because traditional businesses are constantly asking, how much will we make next month? Subscription businesses can often answer, probably something close to what we made this month, plus whatever we add. That predictability is incredibly valuable. Employees can be hired, budgets can be planned, investors can forecast revenue, companies can spend aggressively acquiring customers because they don't need to make their money back immediately, they just need you to stay. And that's where subscriptions become much more interesting, because the product is no longer the thing being optimized. Your staying is. Think about Netflix. The goal isn't simply to have one movie that makes you happy. The goal is to make sure that when the next billing date arrives, canceling feels like a bad idea. Maybe there's a new season coming. Maybe your family uses the account. Maybe you haven't finished that show. Maybe you barely use it, but it's only a few dollars. And that sentence, it's only a few dollars, is one of the most profitable sentences ever created because humans are terrible at mentally combining small recurring costs. $10 doesn't feel dangerous. $9 doesn't feel dangerous. $14 doesn't feel dangerous. But stack enough harmless little payments together, and suddenly you're spending hundreds every month on things that individually felt almost free. That's part of the magic. A $500 purchase creates pain. You notice it. You think about it. You compare alternatives, but $9.99, your brain barely raises an eyebrow. Companies learned something very important: make the payments smaller and make the relationship longer. But predictable revenue is only half the story. Subscriptions also change how you think about leaving. Let's say you buy a chair. You own the chair. The company doesn't care if you think about another chair tomorrow. They already have your money. But if you're paying every month, the company now has a new obsession: churn. Churn is basically the percentage of customers who leave, and in a subscription business, churn can quietly destroy everything. Imagine filling a bucket with water while someone drills holes in the bottom. You can pour faster, buy more ads, offer discounts, add customers, but if enough people keep escaping, the bucket never fills. So companies start designing around retention: notifications, streaks, saved history, playlists, cloud files, rewards, recommendations, exclusive content, personalization, anything that makes the service slightly harder to leave tomorrow than it was yesterday. This creates something called switching cost, and switching cost isn't always money. Sometimes it's inconvenience. Imagine leaving your music service. Your playlists are there. Your recommendations know you. Your listening history is there. Your family plan is there. Technically, you can leave in 5 minutes. Psychologically, it feels like moving house, and the longer you stay, the stronger that feeling becomes. This is why the best subscription businesses don't just sell access. They slowly build a tiny digital world around you. And once you're inside, leaving means abandoning part of that world. Software companies understood this early. Years ago, you could buy many professional programs once and keep using that version. Today, much of professional software is sold through recurring plans. From the company's perspective, it's beautiful. Instead of waiting years for customers to buy the next major version, revenue arrives continuously, and updates arrive continuously too. That's the good side. The company can maintain servers, fix bugs, release features, support customers. A subscription genuinely makes sense when the product itself has an ongoing cost. Cloud storage needs servers, streaming needs licenses and infrastructure, security software needs continuous updates, online tools need maintenance. The problem begins when companies realize something slightly dangerous. If subscriptions work for things that need subscriptions, maybe they'll work for everything. Suddenly, toothbrushes want subscriptions. Coffee wants subscriptions. Clothes want subscriptions. Food wants subscriptions. Apps that used to cost $3 want subscriptions. Your doorbell wants a subscription. Your camera wants a subscription. Your printer somehow wants a subscription. At some point, capitalism looked at the calendar and thought, what if Tuesday had a monthly fee? And companies have another reason to push this model. A customer who buys something once has a maximum value. If you sell me a $50 product, I'm worth $50. But if I pay $15 a month for 5 years, I am suddenly worth $900 in revenue. Same human, very different economics. That number is often described through customer lifetime value, and once a business believes you're worth hundreds or thousands over time, it can spend much more money getting you through the door. That's why the first month can be cheap or free. That's why trials exist. That's why companies give massive introductory discounts. They aren't necessarily trying to make money from you today. They're buying the possibility that you'll still be paying 2 years from now. And there's another psychological trick hiding here. Subscriptions make purchases disappear. When you buy something manually, you make a decision. Do I want this with a subscription? That decision happens once. Then automation takes over. Month 2 doesn't require a decision. Month 3 doesn't require a decision. Month 17 doesn't require a decision. Doing nothing becomes the purchase. And humans are extremely good at doing nothing. This is called inertia. Canceling requires action, staying requires none, which means the default option quietly becomes keep paying. That's why cancellation design matters so much. Signing up can take seconds. Canceling can sometimes feel like escaping a maze. Are you sure? Would you like to pause? Here's 20% off. Tell us why you're leaving. Are you really, really sure? The company isn't confused. It knows exactly what you're trying to do. Every extra step creates another tiny chance that you say, whatever, I'll do it later. And later might be worth another month of revenue. But there's a problem with turning everything into recurring revenue. Eventually, consumers notice. One subscription feels convenient. 20 subscriptions feel like a tax on existing. And when every company tries to become the one recurring payment, you never cancel, they all start competing for the same limited wallet. Streaming is the perfect example. The original promise was simple. Stop paying for huge cable packages. Choose what you actually want. Cheap, simple, flexible. Then every media company looked at Netflix and thought, we should have one too. So content fragmented. Prices rose. Ads returned, bundles returned. And suddenly the future started looking suspiciously like the thing it was supposed to replace. That's the subscription paradox. The model works so well for individual companies that when everyone uses it, the experience gets worse for the customer, and companies know this. That's why the next stage isn't necessarily more subscriptions. It's bigger ecosystems. One payment that includes 5 things: music plus storage, shipping plus movies, software plus AI, phone plan plus entertainment. The strategy changes from subscribe to this product to put your entire digital life inside our bundle. Because if canceling one service is annoying, canceling an ecosystem is painful. Your files are there, your photos are there, your shows are there, your purchases are there, your family is connected, your devices work together. Now the subscription isn't just something you use, it's infrastructure, and infrastructure is very hard to leave. Which brings us back to the strange world we live in now. Companies didn't stop selling things because ownership suddenly became outdated. They discovered that ownership has an unfortunate property. Eventually the transaction ends. Subscriptions turn that ending into a loop. You don't buy, you enter, you don't finish paying, you remain. And for companies, that can mean predictable revenue, higher lifetime value, and deeper customer relationships. For consumers, it can mean convenience, constant updates, and lower upfront costs. But it also means something worth remembering. Every subscription is making the same bet, that a small payment today feels easier than a large payment, and that tomorrow you won't bother leaving. So the next time you see only 9 or not a month, don't ask whether 9 or 9 times is expensive. Ask the question subscription companies would rather you forget. How many months am I actually going to pay this, because the most expensive subscription is usually the one you stop noticing.